Good evening. In previous session, we have seen the concept of with statement, and we have seen some of the binary files, how to handle them. That is, we have seen about images and videos. So in today's session, we are going to see how to handle the data in CSV files. So first, before going to see that CSV file, handling CSV files, let us see what is meant by CSV file. CSV file is nothing but a comma separated values. So here we are going to handle this one. So what this file is going to contain means it is a type of plain text. It is going to contain a plain text in the form of rows and columns. In the form of rows and columns. Otherwise, if you want to say directly about this one, I can say in a tabular form. In a tabular form, the data is going to be present in CSV file. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to handle the data in CSV files. So here for this we are having one module called as CSV module we are having in our Python. So to handle, that is to read and write the data from the CSV files, we are having a module called as CSV in Python. So let us see the example of that CSV file, how to handle the data in that CSV files. Now here, first what I have to do, I have to import CSV. That means in CSV files we are having some functions that are required to handle the CSV files. So already you know about with statement. So directly I'm going to write with statement. So with open, what I have to write, I have to write the some name. I am going to write student data. So that I am going to write student.csv. That means in this student.csv, I want to write some data. So that I am going to write W here, write mode. So here I am going to write new line. Okay. So I will explain why this new line is used after executing our program. So as if, so that why I'm not explaining about this new line now means after seeing the output, you can understand how the data is going to be stored in file. After that, I am going to remove this new line so that you can understand what is the difference between if new line is present here, if new line is not passed to this as an argument, what happens? Let us see there. So now here, what I want to do, first I want to know which type of data I have to write. So which type of, generally a plain text I can write into this CSV file in the form of rows and columns. So first what I have to write here. So W equal to CSV dot writer. So CSV dot writer is nothing but what? Here this is a method. So to what I have to write? I have to write into a file called as student.csv, which is pointing by F. Okay. Now observe. So now I am going to write a row here. W dot, there is a one more method called as row. Write row. That means in one row what I am going to write, in second row what I have to write, and all these things I am going to show you now. Now here in first row, what first I want to enter roll number, for example, roll number. Next I want to enter the name of the student. So here I am going to write some name of the student, and next I want to enter his address. So here I am going to provide the address. This row is going to be added in my CSV file. Okay. After that, I don't want to enter the data from one file to another file. I want to enter the data from keyboard to the file. So that I am going to ask number of students, how many students data you want to enter. Okay. So that input, just I am asking, enter the number of students. Enter number of students. So how many students data you want to enter that value here. So after entering the data into that, now I want to take, let us consider I have taken 3 value here, and value is 3. So I have to enter 3 students data here. For that I am going to use for loop, as we know that. So for I in range of n, that means what? Range of n means what? N value, for example 3. Range of n means it is going to take for 0, 1, 2. So first I am going to take S roll. S roll equal to, for roll number I am going to take this one. Input of, I want to ask to enter a roll number. Enter roll number. Okay, so after this I want to enter what? I want to enter name. So s name equal to enter your name, enter name, otherwise I'm going to write directly enter name. Right, after that, after third one is what? Enter address. So I am going to store that one in SADDR. So enter address. Okay, now see, here I have entered three values here for a user, sorry, for a student. After entering these values, I want to write this data into my file. For that, again I'm using what? Write row. That means write row is nothing but what? It is going to insert a, it is going to write a row. In that row, what should be there? In that row, there should be s roll number should be there, and next s name should be there, and also s address should be there. So these are the three things that has to be present in my row. So observe here, first what happens here? I have created one object here, that is here f is nothing but what? It is pointing to a file called as student.csv. So I have created one object that is passed to, that is stored in w. So w.write row means this w is going to write the row which contains roll number, name and address into which file? Into f. F is pointing to what? F is nothing but what? Student.csv. So these three are going to be placed in a csv as a first row. Next I am asking, I want to enter the details of student. So how many student details you want to enter? So that I have taken n value as 3 or 5. So here what I am going to do, for that first student data I am entering s roll number 1, name Shiva, address Hyderabad, for example, I have entered. So I want this data to be entered into our text file as a row, sorry, into csv file as a row. For that I am using what? W dot write row s roll number, s name and saddr. Okay, now let us see. So here this has to be taken as only single one, so single as it indicates. So here I have to take it as a list. Now observe, if I execute this program, what will be the output? So see, it is asking me to enter number of students. So just I will enter 3 students data. So before going to execute this program, I want to show you, is there any, see here, now I will delete this one because now I have executed this program so that it is created. Anyway, I will enter the data. Now observe here, I am going to enter the number of students here. Number of students what? 3 I am going to enter. Enter roll number 10 I am going to enter. Shiva I am going to enter. Address Hyderabad I am going to enter. When I am going to press enter, what happens? Internally the data is going to be stored in CSV. For example, let us see. So see here, if I open here, it is what? It is locked because I am writing into this one, so that it is not going to open. It is under process. After completing every task, after closing that one, that means what? If I am going to complete the with statement execution, automatically that file is going to be closed. Now it is open so that someone is writing into this file. So this is what? Student.csv is locked for editing because someone is writing here. Okay, so that it is not possible to edit. Okay, now observe. So here second student data I am going to enter. So roll number is 20, for example Ram, and address is Vijayawada, for example Vijay. Next roll number is 30. I want to enter some name Hari. Okay, here address is some Chennai. Okay, now see, the program is completed. Now after completing this with the statement, see here, after completing this with the statement, we are coming out of the with the statement. That is nothing but what? We can open. That means the f dot close is completed. Automatically the file is going to be closed. Now we can open this one and observe here what we are having. How many are there? 3 rows are inserted, and this row is inserted due to what? This row is inserted because of this line. Okay, because of this statement. First statement is this one. Okay, first statement is this one, so that it is inserted here. After that, number of students 3. Here second row is inserted due to this line. Third row is inserted due to this statement. Fourth row is inserted due to this statement. Completed. Okay, so just I will delete once and I will show you once again so that you will get a clarity on this one. So here I have deleted this file. Is there any student file here? No. So whenever I have started execution, then the file will be created. Observe here. So I have started the execution. Now see, file has been created here. Okay, but can I open that one? I cannot open, because my file is going to write something. My Python program is write something into that particular file. So while writing the data into a file, we cannot open that file. So here I will take only two. So roll number one, Channa, for example. So he is from Vijay, Hyderabad, for example. Next, roll number two, Raju I am taking. Okay, Rajmundry, from Rajmundry, for example. Okay, completed. So I have entered two lines and the program is completed. So the connection between our Python file and your CSV file is removed. So you can observe that now. So now the data is inserted. What? The data is inserted, that is nothing but two rows has been inserted here. So this is about how to insert the data into the CSV files. So now let us consider, now let us see about, so what we have done here, I have written some data to the CSV file. Now I want to explain about this new line. Okay, just I will remove this one and I will show you what happens if the new line is not there. Okay, see here, observe this, executed. Now 2 I am inserting. As it is a write operation, what is going to be happen? The data is going to be overridden. So here I am going to write 35. Shiva I am going to write. Some Hyderabad I am going to write here. Roll number 26. Raju, Hyderabad. Okay, see. Now observe the output. That means how the file is going to be. Okay, see here what happens here. After entering every line, what happens? We are going to get a new line. Okay, that means what, an empty line is going to be presented here. So to avoid this one, okay, that means what, if you are not using new line attribute in the CSV file, then what happens here? We are going to get the blank lines. So blank lines are going to be inserted in between the data. If I don't want to get these type of blank lines in my data, so what I have to do, I have to insert new line. Okay, here I am going to create new line. Now once again I will execute the program. So 1 minute. Already this, why it is going to tell permission denied? Because it is opened here. So I have closed this one now. So I will execute now. So now see, there is no problem. So 2, enter the roll number 50, Shiva for example, address Hyderabad, and roll number 26. Okay, Raju, address is Hyderabad. Now observe here, when I am going to write new line, what happens? You can see here. Okay, see here, what happens? The data is inserted without any blank lines. So compulsory, you have to understand why we are going to write new line in our while opening our file. Okay, so this is about the concept of how to write the data into our CSV files. So now let us see about how to read the data, how to read the data from the CSV file. So same CSV file, already I am having some data in student.csv. From that I want to read the data. Okay, now see, observe here. So just I will remove all these things. Anyway, I require what CSV I require. So f equal to open off with statement also I can write, there is no problem. Student.csv, I want to read the data from student.csv. In which mode I have to open it? In read mode. Okay, because I want to read the data. So for that I am having one function called as reader function. For writing the data into the CSV file, we are having writer. In the same way, for reading I am having CSV dot reader. I am having reader function. I am having. So to which one I have to read? I want to read student.csv. It is pointing by whom? F. So I will write here F. So that what happens here? Now I am going to, R is going to read the data from F. F is nothing but student.csv. Now observe here. So entire data I will take, entire data or entire content I am going to take into the list of R. That means list of R is going to give what? All the elements that are present in the CSV file is going to be stored in the form of list in data. So just I will show you before go continue the program. Just I will show you what this data is going to be contain. So see, it is going to contain what? See, observe here. This is what? This is first row. Next, this is second row. This is third row. It is stored in the form of what list? Why it is stored in the form of list? Because the data that I have taken from student.ts, CSV, I have converted it to what? List, and I have stored in data. So if you print data, what happens? The data is going to be stored in the form of list only. Okay, right. Now I want to print individual list individually. So I don't want to write, I don't want to print this one. Just what I will do, I will do for loop. I am going to use for each and every row. Just I will take here row, for row in data. So I want to print each and every row separately. So print. So here each and every row contains what? Three different things we are having. For that I am going to write. Here I am going to write for observe here we are having what? Both rows and columns I am having. If I print row, observe the output here. So each and every step I am going to explain. So if I print row, what happens? It is going to print in the form of what? Separate list it is going to print. Now I want to print each and every individual data in the list. That means what? Again I have to write for loop. One more for loop I have to write. So in this I will write one more for loop. For in each and every column I will write column in data. Okay, in where we have to take in row. Okay, for every row data will be taken. So after that, observe here what I have to print. I have to print column here. So every column will be printed here. So after printing column, so see here what happens? We are having three things: roll number, name, and address is there. After each and every data, each and every column is printed, I want to tab space. I require what? Tab space. So for that I am going to place /t. So for every print statement it will go to next line. I don't want to go to next line, so that I am going to place end equal to empty. Now observe, after printing one row, I have to go to next line. For that I am going to write print statement. Okay, now observe the output of this program. So see what happens? It is clearly printing that whatever the data that is in CSV is printed in the form of output in our monitor by using the for loop. Okay, so this is the program that tells how to read the data from the CSV file. So up to now we have seen what different files we have seen. What are those? First we have seen from txt text file. After that we have seen from binary files like image files we have seen, video files we have seen, and now we have seen about CSV files. Here in all these cases, how to read, how to write, we have seen. Okay, now with this I am going to stop the concept of file handling. That means what? I am not talking about reading and writing into the files. Now I want to talk about individual files. So till now what I have taken? Read and write. Now I am going to take a file and I want to group them. I am going to take group of files and I want to group them as a single zip file. That means now our concept is, so I think it was clear up to, it is clear up to here now. So zipping or zip and unzip the files. Okay, now the concept is what? Zipping and unzipping. What is meant by zipping? Let us consider here 1, 2, 3. I am going to select these three and I want to zip. That means what? If I zip these three to single file, here one zip file will be created and these three files will be present inside a zip file. Whenever I am going to unzip this one, what happens? These three files are going to be available now. Okay, unzip means what? Zipping is nothing but these three files are going to place in one file. Unzipping means all those files are going to be extracted from that particular zip file. So now let us see how this zipping and unzipping is going to be done in our Python. So zipping is nothing but what? It is a archive file which is going to contain a group of files. So what is the advantage of this one? So whenever I am going to store the files into a zip file, here it is not going to the data is not going to be lost here. But what happens here? Compression is going to be done. When I am going to store some files into a zip file, without losing the data, the files are going to be compressed and it is going to be stored in a archive file, or we can say it is a zip file. Okay, so this zip file is what? It is a single file only. Okay, it can contain one or more compressed files also. There is no problem. But generally now I will take what? Just I will take 3 or 4 files and I will zip them as a single file, and afterwards I want to unzip that file what we have zipped. Okay, so now for this, what are the advantages? So first one is reduce the data size. The file size is good. The data size, what, for example, it is 3 MB, it is 2 MB, it is 1 MB, for example. Total is what, 6 MB. Here, if I store here, it may be stored in 4.5 MB or 4 MB only, because here compression is going to be done and these three files are going to be placed inside a zip file. So this is the first advantage of our zip files. Next one, so as the size of these zip files are very less, if I want to transfer the file from one location to another location, okay, or one connection to another connection, that means what, it is going to transfer very fastly. Okay, if you want to move a file from one place to another place. Next, to import, that means what, I am going to write a program for unzipping. If I want to unzip, first I require what, I require a zip file. So that means what, I have to import that zip file to my program, or from my program I have to create a zip file. The importing or exporting will be easy, because the file size is what, the file size is very small when compared to normal files. Okay, so what are the advantages? Zip files helps to reduce the data size, first point. Next point is what, zip files transfer faster than the individual files. Okay, next, it will take less time to import and export zip files. So these are the three advantages of our zip files. So we are going for our zip files. Now let us see where which module is going to give support for these zip files. Now observe, so we are having a module called as zip file. Module name is what, zip file is a module which is going to give the support for zipping the files and unzipping the files. So in that, so if you want to see, sir, what is there inside this zip file, better use directory. If I am going to write dir of zip file, you can see whatever the classes, whatever the methods, whatever the constants that are present inside this particular zip file, we are going to get on our screen. Let us see that one also now. Okay, so in this I am going to use one class called as zip file. The class name is also what, zip file. By using this zip file class, I am going to zip the files and I'm going to unzip the files, and I'm going to use two constants. First one is zip underscore deflatted, zip underscore deflatted. This is one constant. This is for what, for zipping for purpose. Okay, next we are having one more constant, that is called as zip underscore stored. Zip underscore stored is a constant. This is for what, unzipping. Okay, this is for unzipping purpose. So all these three are available in where, zip file module only. So I will show you whether these are present inside our zip file module or not. So this is a class that I'm going to use for zipping and unzipping purpose, and zip deflatted is for which purpose, zipping purpose, and zip underscore stored is for which purpose, unzipping purpose. Okay, right. Now let us see about a module called as zip file. So first I want to show you what are the contents that are present inside a zip file. So import zip file I am going to write here. So now just I want to see the contents of that zip file. That means it contains which classes, which functions, and which constants. Let us see now. So see here, so many classes are there, many constants are there, and many special variables are there. Okay, and many functions are there, but among these I am going to use only three things. One is zip class I require. Let us see where is zip class by searching this one. So zip class I am going to take. Let us see here. Sorry, not zip class, sorry, zip file. So observe here, right, this is the class name I am going to use. Okay, zip file is present in zip file module. Next I want to use what, deflated. Okay, see here, zip underscore deflated I am using, and next afterwards zip underscore stored I am going to use. These three things I am going to use to convert, to create a zip file and to unzip the given zip file. Okay, right. So now first I want to show you a program that is going to zip the file. So if I want to zip the file, I require what? Some files I require. So let us see what are the files that are available in my desktop. So RAM is there. Next one sample is there. Next one student is there. I want to zip these three files. Observe now. So very easy concept it is. So now I will write a small program. It is a small program we are having here. Right. Now from which module I am going to take? From zip file module. I want to import all these things. So if I import all the classes and all the constants and all the functions from the zip file, directly we can write that particular methods or functions directly without writing zip file dot every time. Now see. So f equal to class name I want to take as what? Sorry. Okay. Zip file. This is a class name. So don't worry about this one. This is the creation of an object. Whenever you are going to see the concept of object oriented programming, then you can understand. But for now, just see this one. I am going to create a zip file called as, I want to create a zip file as what? Shiva.zip. I want to create whatever the file, zip file I am going to create. The name of that one is what? Shiva.zip. So first I want to write something into that one. That means I want to place some files into that one. That is nothing but what? I am writing some files to your zip file. So for that, what is the constant I have used? Zip underscore deflated. Okay, this is the constant I have to use. So now F is ready to take the files into the zip file. For that I have to use write. Okay, what is the method I have to use? Write method. F dot write. Which files I want to write? Here see, student is there, sample and RAM. So I'm going to take first file as what? Student. It is what? CSV. Student dot CSV. Next RAM dot txt. After that, we are having one more file, that is what? For example, sample.py. So sample.py, whatever the program I am going to write, it is nothing but a sample.py. It is in sample.py. So I want to zip these three files. Okay, completed. Now I have written all these three files. Sorry, here we are having separately I have to write. Just I will write individually. So first one, this is the first file. This is second file. And what I have to write for this one? F dot write file. Right. F dot write I have to do. Right. Second file is going to be written. After that, I have to write third file by using F dot write. Now observe, I'm going to execute this program. So after writing all these things, what I have to do? I want to close my connection or close my file. Now observe carefully. Is there any zip file in my desktop? I'm going to refresh here. Is there any zip file here? There is no zip file here. So now after executing this, observe what happens. So I executed this program. Output will not be there because what? Am I printing anything onto the desktop? No, I'm not going to print anything on the monitor. So that what happens? Now observe. One zip file is created on my current working directory. So now let us check what is the content that is present in this zip file. So how many files I have zipped here? I have zipped three files. One is student, another one is sample, another one is RAM. So these three files should be present inside your Shiva zip file. Okay. So before going to see that, let us see what are the properties. Let us see the properties here. What is the size? Three files in the node, 245 bytes only. Okay. Anyway, whenever we are talking about large files, we have to consider these by MB and GBs. But as it is small files, I'm not going to consider the size here. So now what we are going to see in Shiva.zip file, what we are having, three files has been stored. This is called the concept of zipping. Okay. Now I have zipped the files into one file called as shiva.zip. Now what I have to do? I want to unzip. For unzip, what I'm going to use? Same for unzip also. I am going to use a class name called as zip file. So here what I have to write? Shiva dot from which zip file? Shiva.zip. What I want to write? I want to read. Okay. I want to read, I have to apply which one here? Zip underscore stored constant. So if I am going to write this statement, if I write here f, so that means it is going to indicate what? I am going to unzip the file. Which file? Shiva.zip. So I am going to print the files, whatever available that are, what are the files that are available in Shiva.zip are going to be unzipped here, and I am going to print those name list. That's it. Okay. So here one concept we have to understand that. So this is a default value. Which one? Zip underscore stored is a default value, and that means what? If you are not going to specify here also, it is going to take it as a zip underscore stored. Just I will write first a program with a zip underscore stored. Later I will show you the difference between if it is there or if it is not there, what happens. I will show you. Okay, now see. Okay, just this is what? This is read. I am not going to perform any operation here, for example. Okay, so I want to do what? I want to read. So for that I am going to write a small code here. So first it is going to give me what? It is going to give me group of file names. So for that I want to see those file names, what is there. For that I am going to write what? I want to store those file names in a variable called as file underscore names. For that f dot, there is a method called as name list. Name list is nothing but what? So f contains what? F is pointing to shiva.zip. So in this f, what in this shiva.zip, what we are having? 3 files I am having. So what happens here? It is going to point, f is pointing to shiva.zip. That means in f, what is there? 3 files are there. Whatever the names that is having inside the shiva.zip, it is going to be stored in this file underscore names. So because I am asking the name list of the f, that means name list of the shiva.zip. So whatever the names we are having for that files, all those are going to be listed by using this method, and those are going to be stored in files underscore names. Okay, now I want to print one by one here. For what I have to do? For every name I want to print. For name, in where file underscore names, from this I want to take individually. Okay, so what I want to print here? First I want to print the file name. Okay, just the file names I want to print. For that I am going to write print of file name is. Okay, just where it is going to store? It is going to be stored in name. So if you want to convert it to, that means what? If I want to take that file, and if you want to convert the data, if you want to see the data of that particular file, again we are going to use the concept of file handling. That is what, again after this statement I will write what? F1 equal to open of for that file name, comma R for read operation. After that I am going to read the data. But for this example I am going to show only the names. So observe this one. What are there? Student.csv is there, ram.txt is there, sample.py is there. So these are the 3 files that we are going to get from our zip file. So if you see in zip file, what is there? 3 things are there: ram, sample and student are there. Okay, right. This is about the concept of zipping and unzipping. Now the concept is, I want to append the data, I want to append the files. What is meant by appending? So instead of writing this here I am going to write some a, and here I am going some write some deflated only again. So now I already told you what is the default thing that is going to be there instead of this constant. Now I'm going to remove that constant. Now observe what happens. So here I have removed that constant here, so that we got output as what? Same. So if I remove that one also, we got this one. If I'm going to write zip underscore stored, okay, now observe, same thing it is going to give you. That means what? If you are going to write this constant, or if you are not going to write this constant, by default it is going to consider as zip underscore stored only. Now our concept is what? Append. I am going to write append here. So as we are writing the appending something, what we have to write? Zip underscore deflated. Okay, now I want to add some other names here, some other file names. Just I will write, remove this one. Just I want to write only one file. Sorry, I want to append only one file. So what I have to use? F dot write of file name I have to write. So 1 minute. Okay. F dot write. I want to write the file name here. Let us see, is there any other file? Okay. So let us create a small file here. Let us create a text file. The text file name is what? New file, for example. Okay. I want to add this new file to, I want to append this new file to my zip file. So here what I have to write? Here I have to write new file dot txt. Now after executing this one, what happens first before going to execute this one? I want to see what is there in this shiva.zip. So see here, it contains what? Only 3 files. Observe now. It contains only 3 files. Now I am going to execute this program and I will check whether the files are going to be appended or not. Okay. Now I'm going to execute this one. Observe now. So output will not be there because I have not printed anything onto the monitor. I have not used any print statements. Now observe here, I am opening zip file here. So in that zip file, how many files has to be there? 4 should be there because one file. What is the new file I have added here? New file dot txt is appended to my existing zip file. Okay. Yes, these are the, in these 3 ways. Sorry, here I'm using what? First I'm going to write the data, that is nothing but adding the files to our zip file. Next one is reading the data, that means from zip files I'm going to read those, that particular files. After that I'm appending the data, that means what? Appending is nothing but it is going to add the files for existing files, it is not going to overwrite. Okay, right, this is the concept we have seen. Now I want to check whether the file is a zip file or not. Let us take here. So here I want to import a zip file here because these are single line statements. Just I will explain, I will execute here. Zip file, my current working directory is what? In desktop. Okay. Zip file dot, what I want to check? Shiva, enter. Okay. Sorry, I want to check what is zip file. I want to check for what? I want to check whether the given is zip file. Sorry, is underscore zip file. I want to check whether the given file is a zip file or not. So see here I'm going to give some new text, so new file dot txt. Is it a zip file? No. So that it is going to return what? False. Now I'm going to give you, let us consider, I'm going to give you a Shiva. Observe carefully here. SIVA. So what it is telling? False, because here Shiva is what? Is it a folder? Is it a directory or what it is? Is it a text file? I have to write the extension also. So just I will write zip. Now observe here what happens. Zip file is zip file. That means I am asking whether the Shiva dot zip is zip file or not. Yes, it is a zip file. If I am going to enter any other file other than these zip files, I am going to get answer as what? I am going to get answer as false only. Okay. Now I'm having one more method called as extract all. Okay, so just I will write a small code for that. Extract all. Here extracting means what? Reading. I want to read something from our zip file, so import all here. After that just I want to write file name, file underscore name equal to, just I want to specify. You can write directly also, there is no problem, but I want to specify now so that I am going to show you different modes here. Okay, so instead of this one, what can I write directly? File underscore name. If you want to keep it as it is, you can keep. So I'm going to write what? File underscore name. So what I want to do, I want to extract. For extracting, what can I take? Reading. Or I am going to write. So now what I want to do here, I want to perform which operation? Extract the files. For that, I am having extract all. Okay. Now observe. Just I will write f dot, as here I have written f dot extract all. I am going to write. Observe now what it is going to print. Let us see first. Later I will change the, modify the code. So or is not defined once. Sorry, here it has to be in, it is a string. It has to be a string. Right now observe what it is going to print. It is printing nothing. It is going to print nothing. So now So to see that, to extract the things, just I am going to write what? Print. Just I want to write one more thing, that is print of. First I want to see print the directories. Okay. File dot print dir. Okay. After that, I want to extract all the files. Now observe, same file is not defined. Sorry, 1 minute. Sorry, here I have taken F. Now observe what happens. It is going to give me names. First one is what? File name. Whatever the file names I am having, it is going to be given. After that, I am going to have what? Modified. Okay. Without this for extract also, all also I can write. 1 minute. I will show you. Without this, let us try. So without this also, it is printing. Okay. What here I want to show? I want to show you extract files. So I want to write print of extract all. Just I will remove this one and let us check what happens. So it's going to throw what? None. For that, let us try f dot extract all. One minute. Okay. So to get the all the names, we are going to use what? Print directory. Okay. Here f dot extract all is not going to return anything. Okay. Right. So generally, this is used for extracting all the files. Next. Let us go to next concept, that is directories concept, which is very important concept. Till now we have discussed only about files concept. We have seen files and different type of files we have seen. One is binary file and second one is text files we have seen, and we have applied many operations on that. In binary files we have applied read operation, write operation, operand operation, in some cases r plus, and there are many modes we have applied. Next we have seen about binary files like images and also videos we have seen, and after that we have seen about how to read the data and how to write the data onto the CSV files, and finally we have seen about zipping and unzipping the files. Okay, now this is all about files, but generally where these all files are present, all files are present in directories. So now the concept is what we are going to talk about: directories. So what is the need of this directory? So generally what is meant by directory? It is nothing but a folder in our computer. So what folder is going to contain? You can call it as a directory, as a folder, but technical term is directory. Okay, in your computer you will call it as a folder, but technical term is what? Directory. So a directory is a collection of files. Only files will be there in our directory? No, there may be subdirectories also can be there. If I open any folder, for example I am opening this directory, inside this what? Some files are there and some more subdirectories are there. So a directory can contain what? Files and also a subdirectory. It can also contain subdirectories. So to perform the activities on these directories, we are having a module called as OS module. Okay, our Python is going to provide a module called as what? OS module. It is going to provide us some functions that is going to help us if we want to perform any operation on directories. So first basic concept is, if I want to check the current working directory, observe carefully. If I want to check the current working directory, I am having our OS is going to provide one function called as get cwd. OS dot get cwd, get current working directory. So what is the current working directory I am having here? C colon users colon C here. This is my current working directory. So it is going to print same thing here. C colon users so on up to desktop it is going to print. So that is what first method what we have seen: get current working directory, cwd, current working directory. Next, I don't want to work in this directory, sir. I want to change my directory. So is there any method for that? Let us see. There is one method is there for to change the directory also, that is change, for saying change ch is there. What I want to change? Directory dir is there. So os dot chdir, change directory. I want to change the directory to which? Just I will place d colon. Just I want to place d colon slash slash. You can keep any folder address here, there is no problem. Just I am going to execute now. So now see, nothing is going to be happened here, but now execute this one. What is the current working directory now? You can observe clearly here, d colon slash slash. There is nothing but d directory is a current working directory now. Okay, now this is about what? To change the current working directory, that is chdir. Second function is what? Chdir. This is one function. Okay, next one more. Let us see some more functions. Here what we are talking about, current working directory and change directory. How to create a directory? Let us see now. So we are having mkdir. So this type of function you can see in many languages. On general Linux and Unix you can see this type of make directory. So now I want to create a directory. Make directory is nothing but what? I want to create a single directory. For example, I'm talking only about single directory now. So observe now here, how many folders are there? Shiva is there, Shiva 3 is there, desktop is there. I want to create one more directory called Shiva 4, for example. Is there any Shiva 4 in my current working directory? I want to change this directory now. So just I want to change my directory to this one again. So just I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to change my working directory to, see this one. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Okay, just I will, already double quotes is there. Right, it is changed now. So if you want to check that, you can check now. Okay, current working directory is changed. Now I want to create what? I want to create a directory. For creating a directory, mk is nothing but make directory, which is nothing but create directory. What is the directory name you want to create? I want to create Shiva 4. Directory name is what? Shiva 4. So whenever I'm going to press enter here, what happens? On my desktop current working directory, what happens? One directory is created. Is there anything here? No, because I have created only a directory. I have not placed any subfolders or any files into that directory. Okay, mkdir is a function for what? To create a directory. Okay, next, sir, I want to create subdirectories also, sir. Is it possible to create with this mkdir? Yes, it is possible. Now see, mkdir, here what I am going to do? I want to create a subdirectory. So for that sub, I am going to keep a name. So if I'm going to execute this one, observe this. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to execute this one. So okay, the statement is not executed, I think. Let us once again, I will check. Okay, now see what happens. It is executed now. See what happens inside a Shiva. I got what? Sub. When it is created at 6:51. Now what is the time? 6:51. Okay, right. In this way I can create subdirectories also, but I have to pass the path. You have to observe here. I have passed what? This is a directory and this is a subdirectory. Now let us consider same thing. I will write Shiva 3. I am going to create. Inside that I will create sub. Now what happens? Shiva 3 is not there here. Okay, I think Shiva 3 is there here. Once again I will execute. Shiva 5 I will take here. Shiva 5 I will take here. Now see what happens here. The system cannot find the path specified. That is what first compulsory. What should be there? If it is there, I can create this one. If it is not there, I cannot create two folders at a time by using mkdir. Observe this point. So here I can create one directory. After creating this directory, if I want to place any subdirectory into that one, I can write in this way. There is no problem. But if you're trying to create a subfolder without existing a directory, I cannot create a subdirectory. So you are going to get what? The system cannot find a path specified. That is, it is not there. Okay. So that file not found error. This is one exception. Okay, this is one error. Already we have seen when we were discussing about exception handling. Right. Now, what to do? If I want to create, the file is not there. I want to create a group of directories. Okay. Then what I have to do? Recursively, I want to perform. That means, so in this way, I want to do. Observe here. Just I am going to have a method called as make directories. What is that? Make directories. Further shortcut is the DARS. So if I'm going to press this one, see what happens. It is created. So see here, Shiva 5 is created. In that, sub is created. So once again, observe here. I want to create a multiple 4 or 5. Okay, let us take this one as a 6 subdirectory 1. Inside this, I want to create subdirectory 2. Inside this one, I want to create subdirectory 3, for example. Now see, if I press enter, automatically in Shiva 6, what happens? Subdirectory 1 is created. Inside that, subdirectory 2 is created. Inside that, subdirectory 3 is created. Okay, I think I have created only up to this subdirectory 3. Nothing is there inside. Okay, so this is the concept of how to create a directories. So here we have seen what? How to create a directory, how to create a subdirectory inside a directory, and how to create a group of subdirectories. That is nothing but how to create a directories recursively. Okay, right. Next, let us see till now what we have done. We have created. Now I want to remove. Okay, creation is completed. I want to remove. So here first I have not shown about how to remove a file also. So now I want to show you about file also, how to remove the file. So till now what we have seen, the method we have seen is what? Make directory and make directories. Okay, this is completed. Next method we are going to see what? Remove. I want to remove a file first. First I want to talk about a file. So I have a method called as remove. I want to remove which file? New file. Okay, there is a new file in my desktop current working directory. I want to delete that. So see what I have to write: os dot remove of that file name. So completed. Now check, is there any new file in here? Is there any new file in my current working directory? It is not there. It is removed. In this way, I can remove the existing file from my current working directory. Now I want to remove a directory. So how to create a directory? mkdir. How to remove a directory? rmdir. Okay, so remove file. This is for file. This is for what? Directory. So very important point I am explaining here. Listen carefully. Here I want to delete what? Shiva I want to delete. In sub, is there anything to delete? Is there anything? No files are there. Okay. Now I am going to delete. Removed. I am going to apply what? Remove directory. os.rmdir. I am going to write what here? Shiva 5 I am going to write. Observe. What happens? The directory is not empty. When we can delete a directory means it should not contain anything, but os dot rmdir in Shiva 5 what there? Sub is there. In sub is there anything? Not there. Now see, I am going to delete sub. Let us try. Now see, it is deleted. So observe here in Shiva 5, is the subfolder now subdirectory is there? No, not there. Now can I delete this Shiva 5? Yes, I can delete because it is not containing anything. So now observe the same statement I will take and I will press enter. So now what happens? Shiva 5 is removed from here. That means the important point here we have to notice, if you are having, if you want to apply remove directory on any directory, that directory should not contain, it should not contain any files or any subdirectories. It should not contain any files or any subdirectories. So this is a small disadvantage of this one. So to overcome this one, I am having one more method. So I will show you all after completing all these methods. Okay. Now here I want to remove. See here, how many are there in Shiva 6? In Shiva 6, sub 1 is there, sub 2 is there, sub 3 is there. Now I want to remove all these recursive, that means what? Subfolders also, all these things. Just I am having one method called as remove directories. So os dot remove directories, DARS. As we have said, make directories, we are having what? Remove directories. So just I want to tell which directories has to be removed here. Clearly I have to tell. So in Shiva 6 I think slash I have to take what? In Shiva 6 I am having sub 1 I think. Sub 1 I will press enter. Let us see what happens. So directory is not empty. That means what? Here also it is not possible to remove. So it is used for what then? It is for what? Removing the directories. If it is not contain anything, okay, Now let us see that one once, 1 minute. In Shiva sub 1, and I am going to write sub 2, and I am going to write sub 3. So now it is executed. After that, I will write, okay, it is having what? There is no path. Path cannot be there. So see, let us see here. Entire file is deleted here. Okay, observe that Shiva 6 is deleted because I have deleted what? Sub 3 is not there, so that it is telling that it is not correct. Okay, now see here, the directory not empty sub 1. So if I tell sub 3 delete sub 3, here what happens? Shiva 6 is removed, sub 1 is removed, sub 2 is removed, sub 3 is removed. Okay, once again I will give you a clarity on this one. So what happens in Shiva 3, sub is there. Okay, in this sub I am going to create one more folder called as sub. Okay, one more folder called sub, or sub 1 I am going to take. Here it is what? Sub 2 I will take, sorry, just I will take sub 2, and in sub 2 I will take sub 3. Okay, in sub 2 I am going to take sub 3. So now observe here what happens in Shiva 3. I am having here, I will write sub 1. This is as sub 1. Sub 1 is there in sub 1, sub 2 is there in sub 2, sub 3 is there. In sub 3 is there anything? Not there. So that I want to remove all these recursive, that means entire thing I want to remove. For that I have to write what? Remove directories. So if I am going to write remove directories, what is the word? Shiva 3. In Shiva 3 I am talking. In Shiva 3 what happens? Sub 1, sub 2, sub 3 we are having. So I want to remove them. Observe now. Remove directories. What I am going to do? Shiva. Okay, in Shiva 3 I am going to take Shiva, sub 1, sub 2, and I am going to write sub 3. Now what happens? Everything is going to be removed. Observe that. Is there anything here Shiva 3? Not there. So this is about how to delete all the folders, all the directories that are present inside one directory. Now the last method I want to show you, that is a important method. Because why I'm telling it as an important method is, so till now what I have seen only about the directories. Okay, here removing directory, and I have removing what? Directories if it is having no files. Okay, sorry, this is what? Remove directories I have seen. It is going to remove all the subdirectories also. But if a directory is going to contains any files, F1, F2, F3 and so on, if I want to remove this directory, that means to remove a non-empty directory, is there any method? Yes, we are having one function called as rm-tree. The method name is what? rm-tree. This is not present in OS module. It is present in a module called as shuttle. Okay, shuttil. So now I will show you that concept. Now observe carefully here. 1 minute. Right, now I want to show you this one. Inside this sub I want to copy this one. So now I'm copying and pasting here. So I cannot remove this one, but I cannot remove this one by using rm directory. So I am going to apply what? rm-tree, where it is in shuttle. Okay, now I want to apply what? rm-tree. OS, so not OS, it is what? Shuttle dot, what is the method name? rm-tree. So I am going to apply rm-tree on what? rm-tree on Shiva 4 sub. Shiva 4 sub. Okay, I have to write that path here. Shiva 4 sub I am going to write. Observe now. What happens? Let us see what happens. Is it deleted or not? It is deleted. If it contains some files also, if you want to delete that one, we have to apply what? rm-tree. So rm-tree is present in which module? In shuttle. Okay, so if you want to remove a directory which contains a files, which contains a files also, or we can say directly, if you want to remove a non-empty directory also, we can remove. So with this I am going to end this session. In next session we will see some of the remaining methods and remaining functions and some other concepts about these directories. Thank you.